Transportation, Infrastructure, and Public Safety being called to order. Let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Here.
Schnelting. Here. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Here. Washington. Weber.
Quorum being established, I move that we go into executive session. Having a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're in executive session. I move that Senate Bill 1249 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator David Gregory. It allows the DPS to deny certain individuals a peace officer license or entry into basic training. There is a substitute ending in .02C. The substitute adds revocation of a certification as a reason for denial of an application for a peace officer license and removes the word permanent. Any discussion on the underlying bill or substitute? Hearing none, I now move that we adopt the substitute. Do I have a second? Having a second, any further discussion? All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We've adopted the substitute. I now move that we vote Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1249 do pass. Do I have a second? Having a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelting. Aye. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Aye. Washington. Weber. Aye.
By your vote of 4-0, the motion carries. I now move that Senate Bill 1554 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator Black. Modifies provisions relating to the hydrant inspection program. Any discussion? Seeing none, I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1554 do pass. Do I have a second? Having a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye. Good
Schnelting.
work out of you.
Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
By your vote of 4-0, that motion carries. I now move that we get out of executive session. Having a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. We are out of executive session. We're now going to go to legislation before us. Senator Bean, you're up first on Senate Bill 1104. Sorry, Representative. We're going to go right to our senators. I said it. Yeah. I didn't. Senator Bean, when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Senator Jason Bean, representing the 25th District, here to present for your consideration Senate Bill 1104. Senate Bill 1104 specifies that drivers shall stop at railroad crossings for any on-track equipment in addition to trains. Current law specifies when drivers are supposed to stop at railroad-grade crossings, such as when a crossing gate is lowered or when a human flagman gives or continues to give a signal of the approach or passage of a railroad train. By adding any on-track equipment to the statute, we are further protecting drivers as well as railroad workers. This bill is about safety, the safety of railroad workers and the safety of the motoring public. Approximately 39 states have already passed similar legislation to Senate Bill 1104. All the bill does is add on-track equipment, railroad equipment, after the word train, so that drivers have to stop for both trains and on-track equipment. And with that, I'll be happy taking questions, and I've got pretty good witnesses coming behind me.
Thank you, Senator. And I think we had this bill last year, too. We had a discussion on it in this committee. So any questions for the sponsor? Seeing none. Anybody here to testify in favor of the bill? Go ahead and hop up here, and please leave a witness form for our records.
Hello, my name is Corey Henry. I'm the Missouri Legislative Director for the BMWED Teamsters Rail Conference. This is our bill here. We've had it here a couple different times. Last year we had good long discussions about it. Be glad to answer any other questions that may already been discussed. I don't know if we want to hold up everybody's time by repeating the same stuff that I repeated last year, but if anybody has any questions, be glad to take them.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for this witness? Seeing none. Thank you for your time. Anybody else here to testify in favor? Anybody in opposition? Yes. Yeah, come on, hop up.
Thank you. I have a packet with some photographs and some highlighted stuff
Great, yeah,
for
send them
y'all.
up here and we'll get them distributed for you. yeah.
Awesome.
Proceed when you're ready, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Carroll. I was born and raised in Sedalia, Missouri. I live in Kansas City now. I'm a lawyer, just about 10 years. Throughout my career, I've consistently represented railroad workers, passengers on railroad trains, as well as folks who have been in collisions with trains at railroad crossings. I didn't necessarily plan on doing that when I went to law school, but it's kind of funny where your life takes you. My uncle was actually killed by an Amtrak train in the mid-'90s, right around Knob Noster off Highway 50 there. So on-track equipment and trains are not the same thing. The law shouldn't treat them the same way, and railroad companies do not treat them the same way. This bill will not make Missouri railroad crossings safer, and it will not make Missouri railroad workers safer. We all are probably familiar with the ads we hear on the radio and see on TV. See tracks, think train. That's what drivers have the expectation of seeing at a railroad crossing, a train. We don't hear see tracks, think on-track equipment. That's because on-track equipment and trains are completely different things. A train cannot stop on a dime. We all know that. That's why trains have the right-of-way at crossings. And trains are designed so that a motorist who's using reasonable care, they have an opportunity to see it and hear it in time to yield to it. That's how crossings are designed. That's what the law is designed to do. Trains are big. They're 16 and a half feet tall typically. They're hundreds of thousands of pounds. This on-track equipment, if you look at Exhibit 6 in the packet I provided, it provides some examples. One's the high rail truck. That's like a pickup truck that most of us have seen. The other's a tie remover or inserter. It kind of looks like a piece of farm equipment. That's not what motorists expect to see at a railroad crossing. There's laws that trains are required. It's mandatory for a train to sound its horn at a public crossing. And it can't just sound it willy-nilly. It has to sound it in a certain pattern. 2 long blasts, a short blast, and a long blast. A minimum of 15 seconds before it gets to the crossing. And it's mandatory. On-track equipment. There's no decibel level that those horns have to sound out. They're not required to be sounded at public crossings, and they're not as loud as train horns. Trains have these big bright lights on them. Those lights are governed by law too. They have to illuminate at least 800 feet in front of the train. The lights, when they're approaching a crossing, they flash back and forth so that motorists have a real opportunity to see them. They're in a triangle shape to make them even more apparent. On-track equipment, all they have to illuminate is 300 feet. 800 feet versus 300 feet. That's a big difference. They don't flash back and forth. They're not train lights. Railroad rules. So the railroad, their own rules, which I've provided in this packet as well as exhibits 9, 10, and 11 there. That's BNSF, Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern rules. They don't treat on-track equipment the same. They make on-track equipment yield to vehicles at crossings. They make on-track equipment be prepared to stop at crossings. They make horn use is optional for on-track equipment. And at crossings with lights and gates, on-track equipment, people have to get out and flag the crossings before the piece of on-track equipment comes through. Crossings with lights and gates, the vast majority of crossings in Missouri don't have lights and gates. The crossings that do have lights and gates are usually the most dangerous. This on-track equipment, oftentimes, and you'll see there's a US DOT report that we provided to you that talks about this on-track equipment does not keep the gates down. So a motorist, believing that it's clear to go because the gates aren't up, may proceed through a crossing and still get hit. This bill will not put railroad companies and drivers on equal footing. It will make Missouri railroad crossings more dangerous, and that's all I have to say, unless I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anybody else here to testify in opposition to the bill? Anybody for informational purposes only? Thank you, sir. Seeing none. Senator, any closing remarks?
Appreciate the committee's time.
Thank you, sir. Next up, Representative Roberts. Proceed when you're ready, sir.
Afternoon, Mr. Chair. Representative Lane Roberts, representing House District 161, here to present House Committee Substitute for House Bill 1866. This bill is essentially a mirror of the bill from Senator Gregory that you just recently passed as amended. It provides cause for the Director of the Department of Public Safety to deny application for a police agency or into the academy if they have been permanently, if they've been revoked or suspended in another state. That's the first provision. Just as we don't want people to be hopping from department to department, we don't want them hopping from state to state either. The second provision is that the director shall have cause to deny any application for a peace officer license or entrance into a basic police academy if the applicant is not a citizen of the United States. This is a piece that got a little bit of controversy, and I'd like to address it with just a few seconds. The most fundamental principle of this nation is our individual and personal freedoms. The idea that somebody who is not an American citizen being able to deprive a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil of this most basic principle is just viscerally not acceptable. There was a discussion about people who have permanent resident status who serve in our military and who are discharged honorably, being able to serve as police officers in some other states. While I appreciate that, it's just not acceptable, I think. The military provides an expedited process for citizenship. I have no opposition to people who want to become U.S. citizens when they immigrate here, becoming police officers, but it should happen in that order. They serve in the military, they become citizens, then they become police officers. With that, Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to answer questions.
Questions for the sponsor? And I think, just really quick, I do believe we just passed the identical version of this.
That's correct.
So the substitute did mirror it to this. Senator Weber? Go ahead.
Just a brief question. So, one question: when it says cause, does the director of department have leeway? Maybe I should ask the department this, but is that a mandate that they can, or does that give them the ability to?
It provides them cause.
But my question is, what does that mean?
I think you may have had a good idea when you want to talk to the department, because for me, that's not a mandate.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
they may see it differently.
Okay. I'll ask them that when they come up, or if they come up.
Great. Any other questions? You good? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? See none. Thank you, Representative. Anybody here to testify in favor of the bill?
Good afternoon, Jalen Talbot with the Department of Public Safety, here to answer any questions. Also here in support of House Bill 1866.
Would you mind responding to Senator Weber's question?
This does give the director cause, so they have the ability to.
So, the director's discretion.
Yes.
Not okay. Cool.
Correct.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions for the witness? Department? Thank you. Anybody else here to testify in favor? Anybody in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? That'll conclude the hearing. Representative, any closing thoughts?
I do not.
Great to see you over here. All right. That'll conclude the hearing on House Bill, let's see, House Committee substitute for House Bill number 1866. Seeing no further business before the committee, I move that we adjourn. Having a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and we're adjourned.